Welcome back, everyone, to the world of Planescape Torment. Once again, I am the Great Genie, and I am ready to continue this game. In the last episode, we escaped the mortuary once, and hopefully for all, and we headed into the town of Sigil, where we are trying to still find our journal, presumably with the man who brought us into the morgue, Farid. And no luck so far, but hopefully we have been led to the Gathering Dust bar here, where we are looking for somebody in particular. Yes, Emmerich was his name. That hopefully has a lead for us as to where exactly our journal is. We've also got quite a few side quests that are starting to pile up, which we will take care of as we go. But we have to look into a mausoleum as well as find a man named Craddock who is some kind of overseer. So we're taking a look here. Hopefully Emmerich will point us in the right direction. We already talked to a couple of these bar goers, so to speak. Had quite a few interesting conversations. Would definitely encourage you to check out the last video if you haven't already. And now, let's get right to it, and let's go ahead and talk. You see a heavy-set man with dark skin and grim features. He is dressed in dustman robes and is regarding you with a stony gaze. As always, we'll say, greetings. You have the look of one lost. The man's voice is like stone settling. Did the wind send you, or are you here with purpose? Who are you? We, I guess, technically should know his name, but... I am Emmerich, factotum and initiate of the Fourth Circle. Is this your bar? If you measure ownership in copper, this is not my establishment. If you measure ownership in spirit, it is mine. He pauses, as if trying to emphasize a point. The dustmen here are my students. They are under my protection. Okay, so... he's basically the big cheese, not in name, but in reality. Can I ask you some questions? Emmerich waits. Guess that's a yes. Is this your bar? Okay. Do you like the idea of like, yeah, okay, sure. But is this your bar? Can you tell me about the Dustmen faction? Dustmen seek the true death. Some call it oblivion, but this is incorrect. To Dustmen, the true death is freedom from the chains of this false life. Yes, we already know that the Dustmen are waiting to really die and get out of this life, detach themselves. We had a lot of conversations about this yesterday. We had a... last video is the word I was trying to get to. I didn't even record yesterday, so I don't know where that came out of my mouth. What is this false life? This life that many cling to with their emotions is a false existence. As long as one clings to it, they will continually be reborn into it. One must divest themselves of emotion to escape this cycle. See, listen, I don't think that that's true. Because we are somebody who is repeatedly being reborn into life, and that seems to be quite the anomaly, so I don't know that necessarily, unless they're talking about some form of reincarnation. But how is your faction organized? I feel like it'll be helpful to learn a little bit more about how they're structured, since I feel like we'll be running into a lot of them. Dustmen are organized into 5 circles. The 5th circle is made of the lowest rank of Dustmen, initiates. The 1st circle is comprised of the highest ranking Dustmen, the ruling body of our faction. Now, he did say... so he's an initiate of the 4th circle. So he's not quite the lowest, but he's not very high up. So I guess he's a big fish in a small pond. I don't know that I necessarily want to join them. I'd like to learn a little bit more about them. We did learn last time about dead contracts, which are essentially what people sign their lives, well, not necessarily their lives, they sign their bodies away after they die so that they can get into the mortuary. I love how, can you tell me a little bit more about it? Do you wish to sign it? I feel like a lot of these people in the bar are just peddling their contracts, but tell us, I want to hear about it in your own words. What is it? In exchange for 50 copper commons, the death contract gives the Dustman faction the rights to your corpse after death. Do you wish to sign the dead contract? No, I think I'm good. Besides, I don't think I plan to die anytime soon. Then again, I guess that is 50 copper coins for free, but I feel like we don't need to do that. It'll get into open up a can of worms that I don't really want to open up right now. I came here in search of a journal. These eyes have seen no journal. Perhaps your search will take you elsewhere. Okay, other questions? Have you seen a man named Farad? We have heard that you know who he is. I would know why you seek the collector Farad. We already know he is a collector, a man who collects dead bodies for the mortuary, for the Dustman. So figures that Emmerich, a man of relatively low importance, but importance nonetheless, would know who he is. Let's play our cards close to our chest. I wish to speak with him. As do I. He has made such a thing difficult. He speaks through other men. Emmerich falls silent for a moment. When two men speak through other men, little is said and much is lost. Well, why do you want to speak with Farad? The collector Farad has brought many corpses to the mortuary of late. One must ask where these bodies are from. We did kind of get a little sense that he might be getting these bodies from a source, let's say, of his own handiwork. So let's see a little bit more. Some are recent dead. They still have their last moments in their eyes. Many more bodies are centuries dead. The dust of ages lie upon their bones. One must ask where these bodies are from. So interesting that some of these are centuries dead, which would imply that they maybe are from a mausoleum, perhaps, whereas some are very recently dead, which would imply that he has got them from less than virtuous means. But look, okay, let's maybe offer a little bit of a helping hand to see if he can help us out. Like, hey, let's talk to Farad. If you can tell me where he is, perhaps I could find out where the bodies are from. How would you do such a thing? Well, I would track him down and ask him. If you spoke with the collector Farad and returned with his answers, you will have done a great service for the Dustman. Find where the dead he brings to us are from, and you shall be rewarded. All right, sounds great. Let's find him, speak to him, and find out where the dead bodies are from. Your path is our path. Return here when you have collector Farad's answers. Well, can you tell me where he is? It is not known to me where the collector Farad is. He hides from the eyes of the Dustman. I would seek other collectors and ask them your question. All right. Well, we have a little bit more of a purpose. We should be finding other collectors. Gains each of a featureless black metal. Doesn't appear to be anywhere to open them. Okay, so I think we've kind of run our course a little bit here. I believe we talked with Sarah last time. Most other named characters in the bar, I believe we've already talked to, so I'm just checking the rounds. Let's maybe order something? Or walk right behind the bar? Heavy burlaps, sure. Food and wine stains, great, great, great. I guess we can't do anything. We can only ask what they're up to later. All right, let's get out of here. So, our first lead was this bar. We also learned of a couple other interesting places when it comes to the city, but as a whole, we are lost. We don't really know where we're going, so the only thing we can really do is explore. So explore I shall. I don't really want to get into any kind of fights. All right, looks like we're kind of at the edge here. To the alley of dangerous angles. Let's maybe not go there yet. Sounds a little dangerous, if you will. We did talk to you earlier. Didn't really get a whole lot out of you. Kind of told us to, in polite terms, fuck off. Yeah, said Farad was south and west to the mortuary. So, see you later. Yeah. This is a named location. Maybe let's go inside. Not that we have a reason to, but I like exploring. I am the type of person who will explore every nook and cranny of any place I can before heading to the main objective. I will not do that necessarily here, because I know the main objective is something that I'm sure everyone will want to see, but you know. This man looks haunted. His eyes are half-lidded as if he has trouble sleeping, and his hair is long and unkempt. His beard is flecked with bits of dead skin and old bits of food. He doesn't seem to notice you as you approach. Greetings. The man glances up at the sound of your voice, and his slack expression vanishes. It looks like someone has lit 2 fires in his eyes. What be your business barging into me house? His eyes narrow and his teeth clench. Get, or I'll send you back to whatever grave you crawled from. Well, let's calm down. I just had a couple questions. The man's face turns blood red, and he begins shouting. Are you deaf? With a snarl, he spits at your feet. You filthy, scar-ridden dog. Off with you, or even the powers won't be able to save your hide. Alright, clearly he doesn't want to talk. The man throws a parting shot at your back. You'd best never cross me door again, you rich stinking bastard. Alright, clearly. I'm not having much luck with him. How about your wife? This woman looks to be in her middle years, and her hair has streaks of gray running through it. Lines of worry crisscross her face, and she sees you. As she sees you, she seems torn between asking you to leave and calling for the man at the table. Alright, so we might get somewhere with her. Let's say greetings. You'd best leave, for I call me husband. He won't take kindly to you having barged you away into our home. Call your husband and you'll both die. It's crazy. Okay, let's maybe call her bluff. If you were going to call him, you'd done so already. I have some questions. She glances to her husband, worry in her eyes. I have not the time, stranger. Do not be troubling me with such things. Excuse me, are you all right? Me? She seems surprised. Oh, aye. She lowers her voice. You'd best leave. Me husband has not been himself of late. You'd best not provoke him with your presence. I spoke with him. He seems troubled. What's wrong with him? He's been out of sorts of late. A touch of the cough, maybe? She gives an unconvincing half shrug. What's really wrong with him? Or, if you tell me what's wrong, I might be able to help. I think he's done something he regrets. Her worried expression melts into despair. I think he signed one of the dead contracts. I cannot imagine what possessed him to do such a foolish thing. Okay, well that maybe not is great for him, but at the same time, it's not really going to do anything for him in the short term, just when he dies. The dead, the dustmen, have contracts that give them the right to somebody's body after they die. Well, what do they do with the body after death? Even though we kind of know, yep. Animate it, turn into the Walking Dead, make it a worker. Till it rots away. Well, why did your husband sign it? He may have been good eager to bring home some more jink than custom. He's prideful, but I think he's hurt himself more by doing so. Can this contract be undone? She looks at you surprised, then sighs. I've tried. I've spoken to the dustman he did the signing with, but he's cold and chill, like all the dusties. Even lecture me on me husband, as if I had no right to try and help him. Her lips become a tight, thin line as if picturing the dustman's face. He was cold, cruel, he was. All right, well, let's see if we can get on their good side. Who was this dustman your husband signed it with? The dusty calls himself Graves, and I know not his first name. He has a table at the dustman bar in the hive. Gathering Dust, I believe the place is named. You can most like find him there, trying to get more people to sign his contracts. All right, so we did actually speak with him last time, and the first thing he basically said was trying to foist one of those contracts onto us. So it does seem like he's the kind of person to really make those kind of demands and keep pushing. Yeah, head out to the street outside, Memorial. Yeah. So we already kind of know where he is. Let's see what we can do. I won't turn away such a friendly gesture, but I must ask you to not let on what I must ask you not to let on I asked you to do such a thing. Me husband has a terrible temper, and if you were to find out, she shudders. All right, sure. I mean, that's an easy promise that we can make. He's not going to find out. Thank you, stranger. I appreciate your help. All right, let's go see. We know where he is. We just kind of were there. Let's go ahead and say hi. I don't know what the hell you are. This shouldn't take long.
I've never seen something so.
All right, calm down. You don't have to make those kind of comments toward us every time we pass by. Gravesend, yes. Morotai Gravesend. Hello. Traveler, we meet again. And how may I help you on this fine Sigillian day? He looks hopeful. Come to sign the contract, perhaps? Are you the one who signed that dead contract with Angyar? Morotai frowns. He looks puzzled. Mayhap. He thinks for a moment. I do not recall the name, however. I would like to settle that contract. Morotai looks wary. I'm afraid that is impossible. The contract is signed, settled, and binding. Let's try to play to his religion, so to speak, and say that, hey, this contract is causing him great distress. He might not be able to approach the true death, and if he doesn't, then his body's going to be useless. Mordai chews it over for a moment. Looks like you've negotiated him into a corner. I cannot. It is a matter of law, my friend. Besides, the burden lies upon the signer to overcome his own feelings in order to reach the true death. I cannot... So what you're saying is that you'll deny him the true death for the sake of a piece of parchment. Alright. I think backing him into a corner is probably the right call here. Mordai sighs and holds up his hands as if to placate you. Look, it is not how you are making it out to be. You obviously hold the philosophy of the Dustman in contempt to damn a man's soul over a piece of paper. Do other members of your faction know of your conduct in this regard? If not, they soon will. Mordai glares at you for a moment, opens his mouth, closes it, then opens it. By the 9 hells, wait here. He drops his voice to a whisper. Keep your bone box latched. He gives an angry scowl and stomps off. A few seconds later, he returns. He's holding a dusty piece of parchment. Dusty piece, rather. All right, that was pretty easy. Here, he sniffs disdainfully. All for a man's peace of mind. Now be gone, and nettle me with your preachings no longer. All right, easier said than done. So, hey, a lot of people in that bar are having a bit of a crisis of faith, so it's at least nice to know that somebody is holding firm to his beliefs, even if he is coaxing people's bodies in the form of a contract. Let's give the wife the contract. Anger's wife looks up hopefully as you approach. Were you able? Yes, I was able to get the contract. Here it is. She looks relieved, and her eyes become misty. Oh, by the powers! You must be a diva in disguise to do such a thing for someone you barely know. Let's give her the contract. I don't think we should ask for something in return. I don't think it's wrong to ask for something in return from the outset necessarily. Maybe not since we offered to do this out of the goodness of our heart, but that's another thing. Nay, if you could show me husband the contract, say that you got it for him, but don't say how. I'd appreciate it. All right. Hello. You see Angar. He doesn't look any better than before. So you approach him again. He first turns slowly to face you. His face tightens. Ye again. Didn't you hear me the first time, you pock-stricken dog? Get out of me house, or so help the powers uncarve you where you stand. Show him his Dustman contract. No words, just show it over. As you pull out the contract, the blood drains out of Angar's face. For a moment, he seems at a loss for words, then his temper quickly resurfaces. Where did you get that? By the powers, you'd best tell me. You know what? I'm gonna tell you nothing. I'm just gonna tear it right up.
My journal.
You tear up the parchment, and Angar's eyes follow the bits of paper as they float to the ground with a desperate look. He shudders slightly, then straightens as if a great weight was lifted from him. Yeah. He looks like he's about to thank you, then stops and stares at you suspiciously. Nothing's free. Not in the hive, Cutter. I think this is a little foreboding, this first one. I think let's say, hey, I might need a favor in the future. Could you help me? I ransomed me life to one man already, and I'm not about to do it again. He shakes his head. We'll settle the debt now. I don't know how useful it will be to get questions out of them. I don't know how helpful they're going to be, but I could use a place to rest. That's the least I can do. I'll have me wife get some blankets out for you. Okay, we can't actually ask the questions. Anyway, can I ask why you signed the dustman contract? Perhaps it's the sheer amount of riches and wealth that surrounds you that distracted you. He snorts. We have less than nothing, and I need a jink. Didn't seem to matter too much at the time where it might come from. And selling me body to the Dusties is a lot more honest than most work around here. What caused you to change your mind? It's just... He sighs. I saw one of them zombies on the streets a half-month ago. One of them zombies that work for the Dusties. And it stabbed me in me heart. I knew I'd made a mistake. I didn't want to be any part of that after death. Yeah, well, I don't know much about it, but I can guarantee you we've probably all had our share of mistakes. Angar grunts. I suppose so. Alright, well, do you know of a man named Farad? Angar nods. Aye, that name be known to me, and not a fond name it is, either. What can you tell me about him? He frowns. He's one of them collectors, and one with a long shadow. Has quite a few boys at his beck and call. He might not be a lord of the realm, but he's not a smart one to tango with, lord or no. Do you know where I can find him?
Updated my journal.
Aye, but I wouldn't be doing you a favour telling you to you. His frown deepens. One of me kin fell into his lot a few months back. Spilled some of the dark of old Farad. To hear tell, Farad's actually got his kit buried somewhere under Ragpicker's Square. To get to it, there's some kind of portal you need to jump through while carrying some junk in your hand. Okay, this is actually new information. So, we did know before, southwest is Ragpicker's Square, but we did not know that he's under Ragpicker's Square, and we need a portal to jump through while carrying some junk in your hand. So, straight west from Mortuary Gate. Keep going till you see Strash. Do best to... Okay. So, we don't know what junk we need to get through the portal. It doesn't seem like we can ask him, unfortunately, but let's see if he knows where our journal is. Angar frowns and shakes his hand. Haven't seen a thing such as that, Cutter. Alright, whatever.
I'm gone.
Yeah, peace. I do think that's interesting. It does seem like we did learn that a lot of portals were in this town anyway. What are you up to? Tall creature with a shock of white hair. Skin is a greenish cast and a pair of goat horns protrudes from its forehead. It is dressed in long flowing robes. Greetings. Creature turns to face you and a series of symbols appear around its head. The symbols have a strange glow about them and they just hover there. Oh, for the power's sake. Piking Dabus. What's wrong, Mort? He's a Dabus. They speak in rebuses. There's annoying word puzzles. If you don't know what he's saying, well, we better find a native or some other way to communicate with him. If we want to. An annoying bunch. My bet, they can speak. They'd rather piss everyone else off by trying to puzzle out what they're saying. Well, what's a Dabus? Chant is they're janitors for the Lady of Pain. They float around, breaking, fixing, and patching up sigil according to her whims. They're worse than corpse flies. Mort sighs. You can't swat them, though, or the lady'll get upset. Lady of Pain? Who's that? That's the first time we've heard of this person. She runs this city. You'll know if you see her. She's got those blades around her face. She's about the size of a giant, and she floats off the ground just like these guys. Mort nods at the Dabus, who is looking at you both. Nobody knows much about her. She doesn't speak much. All you need to know is that you don't want to make her angry. If you see her, my advice, run. I see. Okay, well, interesting. So the Lady of Pain is the ruler of this city. Doesn't bode well. Let's see if we can try up a conversation. You asked it. Oh, geez, 1,000 experience. You asked the Dabas several questions trying to get a feel for the rebuses that appear above its head. It's extremely patient throughout your discussion, giving you easy sentences to translate. You start to get the hang of it. It feels like you've done this before. Maybe you can help me. Who are you? The Dabas inclines its head slightly and a stream of symbols appears above its head. I am a Dabas. Okay, so we can rudimentary... we have a rudimentary knowledge and understanding of their language, which is interesting because at some point it implies that we either ran into somebody who knew their language or we studied it ourselves. What are you doing? A batch of symbols appear at the Dabas' head. I attend to my duties. Okay. Can you tell me about the Lady of Pain? A lone symbol appears. This one shows a metallic female mask with blades coming out of the sides. All right. Seems like it is the Lady of Pain. Okay, let's, I think, keep exploring. It does seem... So Ragpicker Square is just to the west of us rather than southwest, I suppose. Let's take a trip south, wander our way around, see what we can do here. Yeah, there are a lot of people to talk to. I'm not sure if it's worth talking to everybody. If there are specific people that it's worth talking to, then definitely let me know. But it does seem they just kind of have one-off things to speak with. So let's do a little exploring. Does seem like there are a lot of thugs around. And by God, I will not fight the thugs. We are going to not cause a citywide mob brawl as we did in the mortuary. I swear to God. This is just a house, it looks like. Doesn't really look like we can do anything here. Looks like there's kind of a hole in... Oh! I didn't even notice there was somebody in here. Kuatra. Alright. What's your deal? Moving from box to box, this man seems to be totally immersed in counting boxes and scribbling results down on a piece of parchment. Piece of parchment. Jesus Christ, I can't read. He looks annoying as you interrupt him. He looks annoying. Well, I meant he looks annoyed. What is it now? Can't you see I'm busy taking inventory? Go bother someone else. Okay. I think it's best that I don't talk to you because I seem not to be able to read while you're around. Where's the door? All right. Okay, let's try looking around a little bit more. Does seem to be a bit of a... I wonder. Okay, so we do actually seem to be moving as we go. So this is the lower hive. To the southwestern portion of the hive. Okay, yes. So it looks like each part here is a separate screen. Good to know. Good to know. Doesn't seem like the city is going to be that big to explore then. Drunk is new. Let's talk to the drunk. This man sways unsteadily back and forth, catches his balance for a moment, then manages a sickly, twisted smile at something just past your right ear. Greetings. He nods slowly, then manages a phlegm-filled gurgle, and a small green-colored trail of drool begins to drip from the side of his mouth, running down onto his scruffy, dirt-caked beard. Looks like he's barely able to stand up, much less carry on a conversation. You know, it was worth a shot. In fact, a drunk harlot, that's something new. Sure, let's talk to the drunk harlot. The woman stumbles into you, then takes a step back, looking up at you for a half smile. She smells like a distillery. Greetings. Hello. She waves at you, then breaks into a stream of giggles. Hello, big cutter. She starts laughing again. Are you okay? Squints put her hands on her hips and bends over to give a bird-eyes view of her bosom. Don't I look okay to you, Cutter? Well, she shakes herself, causing numerous jiggles, then starts laughing again. You're the one who looks to be needing some love and care. She pokes you in the chest with her finger for emphasis. All right, I don't think we're getting much out of this conversation. Suddenly I have a feeling that something is wrong. And with this feeling comes a realization that this woman's drunkenness is just an act. As you take a closer look at her, you see the harlot tucking something into her sleeve. It looks like she has something of hers. Okay, so she took money from us. I think it might be worthwhile to... Let's see if we can observe her technique. Leaning close, laughing along with her, and you watch her hands dart to her purse again. Seems to be distracting the mark with her drunken chatter and her bosom while she lifts the coins from her. She lifts the coins from his purse. Long and baggy on purpose. Okay. So let's, if she's making another grab, let's just say, you know what? We're grabbing that hand. She pulls her hand back before you can grab it. Her drunk expression vanishes, and she starts screaming. Okay. No. I know that red. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. I'm running into the nearest building. For the love of God, I am not doing this again. The Smoldering Corpse Bar. I believe we have heard of this before. On the post, that zombie with notes sticking out of him, there was a note about the Gathering Dust Bar, and it was crossed out with a Smoldering Corpse Bar instead, so it looks like we found it. Let's talk to Drusilla. This is a woman with fading bruises on her face and arms and a look of despairing longing in her sunken eyes. She might have been pretty once, but those days were long ago. She turns slowly to face you. Life pours into her features, and the spark of sardonic light that dances in her eyes now makes you wonder if your eyes were deceiving you. Interesting. So she's somebody who clearly knows how to put on a face. I imagine she works here, and is definitely going through it inside and outside, but can put that behind her, you know, for her position, I suppose. Welcome to the Smoldering Corpse, Scarred Man. Who are you? I'm Drusilla, and you must be clueless. Don't ask me how I know that. It just shines off you. Clueless? I think not. She smirks at you, and her bruises seem almost to fade. Whatever you say, dearie. Whatever. Answer some questions for me. Aye, traveler? What is it you seek? Who are you? Okay. We're just getting into the same loop. I'm looking for a journal. Would you happen to have seen it? A journal? Oh, sure. I've kept an eye out for all stray journals, just in case some scarred man walks into my favorite bar and starts asking about it. Do you ask that of everyone you meet? What a fascinating life. So interesting that it does seem her favorite bar, maybe she doesn't work here. Maybe she just frequents it. Just answer my questions. What can you tell me about this place? Here, this is the Smoldering Corpse, though the person smoldering ain't dead yet. He's just keeping himself alive until someone comes along to help him out. Sods who like to see people in pain come here. Fiends like it. Folks who don't much care for being bothered come here too. The name alone keeps out most of the Burks. Well, who is he anyway? Because pretty clear, we do see somebody on fire in the middle of the room. Who is that man?
Updated my journal.
That despair you saw on her face before flits across it again like a black-winged shadow before she masters himself. That's Ignis, one of the greatest wizards ever to come out of this slummy excuse for a cesspool. They caught him and they opened a channel to the plane of fire through him, and now he's just a doorway for it, keeping himself alive by force of will alone. If someone can douse him for a few moments, it'd give him his life back again. But they don't make enough water to do that. They opened a channel to the plane of fire through him, and now he's just a man on fire. That's a beautiful fate. Looking for a collector? Have you seen or heard of him? Farad, she snickers. The Collector King? You can probably find him in a stinking ilk in the trash ones on the far side of the hive. Good luck in getting any answers from him. He's a sly devil, he is. Alright. Who is that burning? Yeah, we already kind of... What's your connection to him is something we don't know. Her voice practically throbs with a deep ache. Deep ache. I was Ignis's lover, and he, my beloved. He loved the flame more than me, and now he has become the flame. And because I love him, I love the flame. Well, that's all done with now. Now I wait for him to douse himself. I sell what little I have just so I can be near him. That's
I'm gone.
that's rough, ma'am. I guess we should talk to him. This crackling, billowing creature twists slowly above an iron grill upon the floor of the bar. It may have once been human, but now its skin is charred beyond recognition. Streams of fire form a wreath upon the creature's body, and the flames lick at the few remaining pockets of flesh, causing them to bubble and run like wax down the creature's skeletal flame. Greetings? The thing makes no response. It writhes slowly within the flames. It lives, but it does not seem aware of anything other than the fire. Its skin is flame, its heart is flame, and you know within some shadowed corner of your memory that this thing is dangerous. The heat surrounding this creature is incredible. To your surprise, the iron grill has sagged and bent from the heat. So this grill has bent from the grill itself. It emanates from him. Flecks of ash drift and float to the ceiling. Let's not get into this if it is dangerous. Hello. Oh. I don't even know that we necessarily talked to her, but she just approached us. As you near her, she's a female dustman with an empty glass. You, over here, you notice that there's something wrong with her, and your exposure to the dustman leaves you to believe she's just too lively to be a real member of her faction. Okay. Hey, Cutter, buy a lady a drink? You're not really a dustman, are you? She looks around nervously and seems to sober right up. Why do you say that? Because you don't act like a dusty and you're not offering contracts. In fact, you're taking money, instead of giving it out for that corpse labor they do at the mortuary. She stifles a squeak of terror and hastens to explain. No, I'm not a dustman. I just found these robes in the street and I didn't have enough money to get good clothes, and I heard there was a dustman thief around, but you could probably find him somewhere else in the southwest part of the hive. I saw him, but I hid from him. Please don't hurt me. Okay. Yeah, just answer some questions. Why did she approach us? I guess for money. And that's pretty much it. Who are you? Me? I'm Mokai. I just like to, drink here and, She loses her train of thought momentarily. I'm just a person, you know? Okay. Yeah, that's just how normal people describe themselves. What is this place? Smoldering Corpse Tavern. Can't you read? You, more bub than I am? Alright, whatever. Tell me about the other patrons here. Dunno. They're just, people. I don't deal much with people. Unless they're buying me a drink. Okay. Who's the burning corpse? He's, not a corpse. He's, some crazy wizard. Ask around, they'll tell you the story. Alright, you don't seem to be giving us a whole lot here. Hello? Hello? Who are you? You see a scaled fiend who looks very similar to the one standing next to him. In addition to the pierced left ears, both are black-hued and reptilian, with bat wings tucked against themselves. This one has a small scar under its left eye. Greetings, old comrade. 'Tis truly a joy to see you again. Again? Okay, automatically he knows us. What I mean, dear man, is that time, our old enemy, has performed a vicious disservice on you. It robs your memories and steals your recollections. If you do not recall us, why, it is because you have fallen prey to one of mortality's weaknesses. We are old friends of yours, old indeed. What can we do for you? Alright, well, I think talking to you is going to be, worthwhile. Who are you? Ethilgrin. Time has robbed our companion's memory. You honestly do not recall us, do you? Truly, I am aggrieved. But, as am I, Tegarin, truly aggrieved. Yet I rest easy. It has, after all, been many hundreds of years, and we know how the minds of mortals tend to dissipate with age. Many hundreds of years? So, okay, we're getting a bit of a time frame as to how long we've been going through this, and hundreds of years is kind of concerning to me. Well spoken. Old friend, we are a pair of Abishai on leave from our current assignments in Bator. I am Tegarin, the thrice damned, so named for my ability to find the best in every situation. This is Ethelgrin, who has earned himself no special name, though not for lack of trying. Lack of trying? What do you mean? Aethelgrin ignores you as it responds to its companion. And once again, Tegorin, you have cut straight to the truth of the matter. Though perhaps it is best not to have earned the sort of notice one bearing the name Thrice Damned must surely have incurred. Great. Mort whispers to you. Boss, I don't like this. They're not supposed to be here. The Blood War hasn't kicked the Celestials' asses bad enough that any fiend can go on furlough. They want something. Tread carefully. Okay, so they shouldn't even be around because of this Blood War. No idea what that's about. In its turn, Tegorin ignores you and replies to its comrade. Once again, I maintain that any notice is better than no notice at all. Old friend, does this answer your question as to our identities? Sure. What are you doing? What are we doing? Why, is it not perfectly clear, old friend? We are on leave from our beloved assignment, taking for ourselves some much-needed rest, and perhaps inducing some additional recruitment for our glorious cause. Our superiors fully support our presence, to be sure. In a more immediate sense, we are taking our entertainment in this delightful establishment. And of course, we are celebrating the return of our old friend. However, the stench of the breezes, which occasionally waft to the scent of goodness in the door, debases us somewhat, leaving us physically, mentally, and spiritually weaker. Fortunately, the air in this ward of the city carries a delicious tang of pain and supplication. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, I'm not sure I like the cut of your jib, Tegorin. Doesn't seem like we were friends of a good, decent kind, if that makes any sense. What is this place? This is the Smoldering Corpse Bar, one of the more entertaining taverns your kind has seen fit to erect in this city. The poetic justice of the burning fellow at the front of the establishment is really quite a fine touch. Was there something else you wish to ask? Okay. Tell me about fiends. As we see it, there are two kinds of fiends. Those who are correct and those who are not. Our side, that of the Bad Tezu, is correct. The other side, that of the cursed, hated, chaotic Tenari, is incorrect and must be exterminated. Okay, so that seems to allude to this blood war. It seems like it's not necessarily a big war involving all sorts of species, but maybe one that's kind of like a civil war between these two species. We hold the Tenari directly responsible for the blood war. Okay, that kind of answers my question. Were it not for them, we could have settled the lower planes in peace and wouldn't have all the bother of fighting this wretched war, nor would the unfortunate spillovers into other planes be a cause for concern among the namby-pamby do-gooders. The Tenari are directly to blame for the multiverse's sad state of affairs. Alright, so it's spilling over into other planes, which is kind of concerning. I wanted to know what differentiates you for them. The fiend pauses a moment and then brightens. Ah, yes. You see, we represent law and order. Those who break the law must be punished. If we have no law, we have only anarchy. And surely you can see what anarchy has done for the Abyss. It has spawned horrors beyond imagining. Any excesses the Batas or state must have indulged in are simply to counter the rising tide of chaos, represented by the Tenari. We mean no harm to anyone, we just prefer to understand where the boundaries are. Sure. Do you know a collector named Farad? Hold on. Wait. Am I getting these... Oh, sheesh, it goes all the way back. Am I getting these the names mixed up? I feel like I might be. Okay, no. Farad? I have heard the name. Is he not a sage of some sort? A necromancer? Or is he a diviner of rubbish? I have heard of him, friend, but do not have the pleasure of his company. Perhaps one of the other patrons here can help you. Alright. I'm looking for a journal. I keep no journals, friend, and I counsel that you should not either. Ask my dear comrade Tegorin why. Oh no, I keep switching their voices at this rate. I think I'm lost. I'm lost in the sauce. Ask my dear comrade Tegorin why you should receive enlightenment. Why should I not keep a journal? Because, friend, it is easy to make the mistake of committing a true word to posterity, and easier still for someone you once trusted. Neri shoots a glance full of venom at Aethelgrin. Define that word and use it against you. Indeed, it can even lead to actions tantamount to desertion. Leaving or losing a journal can cost you your very existence. Well, in this case, it literally has cost us our existence because we literally cannot, we have no idea who we are. Boss, I'm more sure than ever that these Bergs ain't on the up and up. Sounds to me like they deserted, like they're looking for some angle that'll elevate their status in Bator. You don't want to be talking to them, boss. You don't know what game they're playing. You can get burned. Literally. All right. I think we're done for now. Maybe we'll come back for them. But I do think maybe we should give it a rest. Let's talk to some other patrons for now. You see a short, rotund man with a perplexed expression on his face. From the lines of his loose skin, it looks like he's not too uncommon. He carries a flagon of ale that looks like it's in the process of being emptied. Rapidly. In between swallows, he speaks in a gentle voice, so quiet you can barely hear his words. Hello, traveler. My name is Ilquix. Can I be of some assistance to you? Greetings, I would like to ask you some questions. What did you want to know, my friend? Who exactly are you? I am but a humble man with a slight flowery, poetical bent and a tendency toward the supernatural. I regret that I have none of my supplies here, or I should be most eager to teach you the ways of power. Perhaps some later time. Okay. I have no words for that. What can you tell me about this place? This place, the Smoldering Corpse Tavern. A fine establishment with a fine owner. Barkus is a true gentleman and ambitious to increase his standing to boot. These, I feel, are the most useful qualities one can possess. Yeah, ambition sure drives people. Okay, patrons? The patrons of this tavern are many and varied. I have spoken with most and find them delightful, with the exception of those creatures of the law. He gestures toward the pair of Abishais sitting in the corner. They taint the air with their presence, lending an unwholesome stench to an otherwise pleasant environment. I recommend speaking to Barkus. I understand he requires some aid with a trifling matter. Then we have that O character. I still am trying to understand him fully. It is quite an undertaking, if I may say so myself. Those are the folks of interest here. The others, well, perhaps I am too discriminating. Why do you despise the creatures of law? A fine question, my friend. My upbringing has been on the chaotic side of the Great Ring. You may speak to Kendrian Ilborn, a misnomer if I ever heard one, of the Plains. He fancies himself a great planewalker. To return from my digression, I have lived many years with chaos and find it pleasantly agreeable. To me, the taint of law, as in those creatures there, is reprehensible and tyrannical. If I am to be crushed underfoot, I'd rather it be an individual than a machine that knows nothing of emotion. Sure, I agree. If one is just operating under black and white law, just saying, hey, this is the letter of the law, you must abide by it, we must follow it to the T. I do think it can be a little bit concerning when it comes to passing judgment. I do think a degree of emotions are necessary. It's kind of why we have jury trials, things like that, because people will bring their own perspective, their own emotions. And so, yeah, sure, I agree, yeah. Ilquix smiles toothily, his fat cheeks barely moving. To each his own, I say. Did you have more questions? Who is that burning man? That is the last unfortunate who chose to exercise his individual will without the strength to back up his desires. His name is Ignis, and he was a pyromaniac. He burned and didn't burn the right people, and wound up channeling more raw power than he could. Now, well, you see what became of him. If you wish to learn more of him, perhaps that poor creature Drusilla can help you. So he's some kind of mage that maybe played with fire a little too much. Let's speak with another patron. The man before you is old. His dry, yellow skin has the scars of one who has traveled everywhere and never rested long in any one place. His pinched face is inhumanely angular, and his ears sweep out from his skull, tapering to points. He wears a loose-fitting orange tunic, and a strange, simmering blade is draped across his back. The blade looks to be a two-pronged glaive made of some metal whose surface swirls like a film of oil on a pond. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I love the poetry with which this game describes just physical surroundings, how we feel. Beautiful. Greetings. The man turns to you, his eyes like polished coal. He stares through you, and for a moment you wonder if he might be blind. The weapon suddenly turns a dead, flat black, mirroring the man's eyes. Love a weapon that changes form or color based on how their owner is feeling. Must be a mood ring.
Hail, traveler.
Okay. He says nothing for a moment, merely searches your face with his eyes. His voice is quiet and somber, like a wind whispering through the branches of a great tree. Hail.
Your eyes are the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place.
Okay. The weapon drains, presuming it's shimmering, you noticed before you spoke to him. Yeah, you can say that. The man's gaze does not waver from yours. I am... I'm trying to figure out what voice to give him. I am known as Dakon. The emphasis he places on the word known strikes you as odd, yet familiar at the same time. You are not known to me. Well, I'm a visitor to this city. Dakon is silent for a moment, still studying you with his coal-black eyes. The plains number many infinities, yet you are here. I would know why you have come to the city. I'm looking for answers. I have many questions. Speak your questions. I will hear you. Well, let's get a sense of what you are, I guess, to figure it out. A Githzerai. Githzerai? A Githzerai is one of the people. One of the people? A Githzerai. Yeah, you were kind of talking in circles here. What are the Githzerai exactly? Dakon is silent for a moment, then speaks. Our history does not need to be made known to you. We would bleed to death on Time's blade before I recited a fraction of the histories of our people. I don't need to know your histories, but I would know of your people as they are now. Dakon is silent for a moment. Know this and accept it as an answer. We are the people who make our home upon the shifting plane of limbo. With a deft motion, Dakon slips his blade from his back and holds it before him. Okay. There, we mold the matter of limbo with our minds. We forge cities with our thoughts. As you watch, a series of rippling waves of metal begin to roll forth from the center of the blade. The pitch and crest of the waves, match the inflections in Dakon's voice. In its chaos we dwell, with only our knowing to preserve us. We are the Githzerai. Okay, so the weapon literally does change form, based in response to their voice. It is a Karak blade. It is an object that lets others know the rank of the wielder. What rank does it signify? The blade is a symbol carried by the Zerth. A Zerth is one who knows the words of Zerthamon. In knowing the words of Zerthamon, they know themselves. What is Zerthamon? Zerthamon founded our race. He knew the Githzerai before they knew themselves. He defined the people. He gave them one mind. So are you of a high mind? Or at least a collective whole, as in like you are focused on community rather than the individual? Maybe. Okay. In your tongue, the closest translation is chaos matter. The people may shape it with their thoughts. So who are the people? Okay, the Githzerai. And you can shape it with your thoughts? Karak is not shaped by heat, but by knowing oneself. It is a mirror that reflects the will of the wielder on its surface and in its edge. When one knows themselves, the blade is strong, harder and softer, stronger than steel. When one does not know themselves, the blade is as water, formless and weak. So he is clearly somebody who is, he knows himself, and what that means is he has a firm grasp on who he is, his beliefs, his values, kind of what I'm getting from this. I doubt he's willing to sell it. Can you tell me about this city? It is known by the name Sigil. Among the people, it is known as the city that does not know itself. Does it know itself? What do you mean? The city exists, but it does not know itself. In not knowing itself, its existence is flawed. You speak as if the city is alive. It may not be aware and know itself in the sense that you or I might know ourselves, but it lives, it grows, changes, and touches the minds of all that live here. Okay, why does it not know itself? The city exists in opposition to itself. It has set itself apart from the planes, yet it seeks to be everywhere at once. Its walls are doors, yet it keeps these doors locked. Such an existence tells of a thing that does not know itself. In not knowing itself, it is flawed. I guess that's an interesting way of looking at it, in that the city itself is a city of portals every which way, which we know of, but it takes very specific actions or items or thoughts to actually open said portals. So it is an inherent contradiction in that there are portals everywhere, but only those that know exactly how to get to where they are going to is, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to say. I guess the city is a contradiction, and in that way, it does not know itself. It does not understand itself, which is an interesting way of looking at it. What is the city? It's not flawed. Things have to be ordered on purpose to know itself. Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't need to have order and a purpose to know itself. Like, I guess we have a strong sense of our own core values and beliefs, but we don't necessarily have to have a purpose. Like, my character doesn't necessarily know anything about himself, but we are starting to maybe take form and to say, like, okay, what is driving us? What values do we hold? And maybe there is some value in that after all, in that we know ourselves, which maybe we don't, but we're starting to learn. What if these contradictions are strengths? To your question, a question. What if the city is flawed and you see its contradictions all around you? To your question, a question. You claim the city's existence is flawed. You have accepted this rather than explore the possibility that something greater may exist. That suggests you are flawed, and that you do not search for knowledge, but only a convenient answer. Okay, we're just throwing it in his face like, hey, you're accepting the easy way out. You're not looking beneath the surface. You're just not interested in knowledge. Dakon falls silent. There is no knowing the answer to the questions we have asked. Yet the city exists. That is all. Yet I would maintain that we know ourselves by the questions we ask and the ones we do not. If we cease asking questions and accept only what we can perceive, then we will cease to know ourselves. Dakon's voice has changed slightly, become heavier. Such words have been spoken before. I have heard them and know them. You know them? If we cease asking questions and accept only that we can perceive, we will cease to know ourselves. Where have you heard them? The words are mine. Once I knew them and knew their meaning. I had forgotten them until you spoke. Dakon's gaze travels through you and his blade stops shimmering, bleeding of all color until it is translucent. There is a moment of silence, then Dakon looks up to you. I would travel your path with you. Okay, I feel like there's a lot to unpack there. We know words that he himself has spoken. He started this conversation basically saying, I don't know who you are. And we obviously don't know him, but he doesn't know who we are, and yet we know words that he himself has spoken, and immediately upon recognizing that, he seems to have gone pale, or at least his weapon has, and he says, listen, I'm traveling with you. I do wonder if this is somebody that we have met in the past. I don't know why he wouldn't remember us, if that is the case. Maybe a lot of time has passed. Maybe we look significantly different than we did when we met him. But I feel like it would be worthwhile, taking him with us. So, sure.
Your path is mine.
Strangely enough, his voice seems distant, and it echoes as if he was speaking from across a great distance. Very well. Let's go. Endure. In enduring, grow strong. Gained Dakon as a companion. Okay, so... Oh, I didn't even recognize that we had 3 party... Okay, so we can have a total of 6 party members with us, and now we have a couple. We have recruited Dakon. So, yeah, I do think it is really interesting that I don't know. I think that was an interesting conversation that we just had. It's going to take me a little bit to digest it. I think that's probably a good place to stop. I imagine next time I'm going to want to speak a little bit more with him to get a better sense of who he is, what his past is, especially, so we can maybe understand if we have crossed paths at some point. There's this weird underlying tension between the two of us that underlined our entire conversation, I feel. And yeah, I want to get to the bottom of that. So without further ado, I will go ahead and end it here. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you. Please feel free to look forward to the next one. I certainly am. Our next adventure in Planescape Torment. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.